7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Africa Eco Race is one of the hardest off-road races in the world, taking place over several thousand kilometers across a variety of different terrains. From cold rocky mountain passes in Morocco to hot sand dunes in Mauritania and green humid savanna in Senegal. But how do the competitors find their way to the finish in Dakar? To you, this might seem simple, but if you take a deeper look, navigating in the middle of nowhere can either make or break your race, as it requires a combination of exceptional terrain reading skills, intense concentration, quick decision making, and high endurance.
Well, today was not easy. It was hard for this bike because there are a lot of rocks, and the navigation, it was difficult too. In some places you need to be really careful.
The navigation was difficult. You have to keep calm, slow down. If you get a little bit lost, you can be very lost, even if you are close to the track.
Well, today we had a good stage. One or two dangerous moments. The road book and I don't know, the navigator, I don't know what happened, but one time we were flying and we just could handle the car.
Basically, we navigate using a roadbook holder, which scrolls a piece of paper with notes and information about the track that we don't know anything about it.
Probably the first day that the navigating went this well, and then you end up front.
I feel like I am toasted, but you had to be careful with the navigation. You know, half a dozen points. If you weren't watching the roadbook, you were in big trouble. And there are 20 kilometers between points. It's too hot. No one wants to spend time in the desert.
Well, it was difficult because you have a lot of information to handle. You see a picture for the first time, you have to think about what you're going to say. Then you have a little bit impatient driver. Says, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? You're thinking about all these pictures and distances, but it was okay. It was just doable, but tough.
The roadbook is the main tool the competitors use for navigation. Handed out in the previous evening, or sometimes just 1 hour before the start, it contains detailed notes and directions about a 700-kilometer long track that the competitors know nothing about. The roadbook is to be followed during every second of the race. Not following it properly can lead to accidents, time penalties, or losing your sense of direction completely. It's crucial to understand how to read a roadbook. So let's go over some of the basics and see how it works. So here you are entering one of the stages of the Africa Eco Race. Remember that the race takes place in the middle of nowhere, so this is not a highway with signs and directions all over the place. The most important things in a roadbook are these two numbers and this drawing. This is the odometer, which shows the kilometers inside the stage itself. The number here is the compass heading and a drawing representing the landscape you'll encounter at that specific kilometer. Simple, right? Okay, let's put it into practice. Easy mode first. You have arrived at this section of the track. What do you do next? The roadbook tells us that we need to turn a little bit to the right and follow heading 140 until we arrive at kilometer 19.35, where we will see a dune covered with stones on the right, and we need to go around this pile of stones following heading 105, which after a few hundred meters will change to heading 80. Okay, that's too easy. Let's activate hard mode. This time the roadbook says you should turn to heading 145, which after 700 meters changes to 160, and follow it for 41 kilometers. Eventually you'll see 3 dunes in front of you where you'll need to turn to your next heading. The trick here is the distance, as you might drift slightly off course due to obstacles such as rocks, holes and animals, and the high speeds of up to 150 kilometers per hour can make it really difficult to follow the roadbook. Okay, so we have arrived at kilometer 70.43, and instead of the 3 dunes we see something else. That drifting has added up a lot over the longer distance and messed up our odometer. It's a really stressful experience as the landscapes are often very flat and featureless, and losing the sense of direction is very easy. Deciding to drive forward or back if you think you went past the point introduces a new problem. Your odometer will keep counting as you drive, and if you're not 100% certain of what you are doing, this is going to get a lot worse. Your best chance is to find a competitor driving by, asking if he can stop for a second and readjust your kilometers according to his, hoping that he is also not lost. It's also important to note that drawings are just showing the terrain features you will find, but they are not marked with flags or signs, so it's very easy to confuse it with something else or not notice it entirely. To ensure the safety of all competitors, the organisers have placed waypoints throughout the stages, which every rider needs to pass by. Not doing so will result in a time penalty of 15 minutes. This is to keep the competitors in a kind of virtual channel a few kilometers wide and minimize the chances of someone going 100 kilometers off the track. The waypoints have a 90 to 200 meter radius depending on their type, and when you are close by, your GPS screen will activate and an arrow will guide you to the center of the waypoint, allowing you to adjust your kilometers and proceed to the next note on your road book. It's safe to say that this is a real challenge finding the right way to go. For the bike category, it's you as a pilot and you as a navigator. And while cars, SSVs and trucks have a second pair of eyes dedicated for navigation, they also need to try not getting sick while reading the road book with the car going up and down the dunes. But as the finish line comes into sight, you know that all the hard work and determination has paid off, making it a moment you'll never forget and one that will stay with you for the rest of your life.